Violet stood under the shower, the hot water cascading over her, chanting 4 names like a twisted mantra. Asher Nightshade, Roman Draven, Griffin Hale, a Lark Storm. It had been over an hour, and even though the smell of wolf pee was gone, the memory of it still made her skin crawl. Wolf pee. That's what Roman Draven and the others, Asher, Griffin, and Alaric, had branded her with. They hadn't done it themselves, but they'd just stood there, their silent approval like a knife in her back. Her blood ran cold as she replayed the scene in her head. The mocking grins of her classmates, especially the preppy elites, flashed before her eyes. They'd filmed the whole humiliating ordeal, posting it online for everyone at Lunaris Academy to see. She was probably trending on the school forum again. But it wasn't just her classmates who'd made her furious. It was their teacher, Mrs. Clarkson, who should have stepped in but hadn't. Afterward, all Miss Clarkson had done was offer Violet a hand up. When Violet ignored her, the teacher simply said, "Congratulations, you are officially part of Lunaris now. It took guts to go through that. You can clean up and skip the rest of class. I'm sure you need it." There had been pity in Miss Clarkson's eyes, but not an ounce of guilt, like this was just another normal day at school. The taunting laughter echoed in Violet's ears. She abruptly shut off the water, the sudden silence deafening. She shivered, goosebumps erupting on her skin, not just from the memory of the scenting, but because the water had run cold. She used it all up. A small, bitter smile touched her lips. At least someone would be annoyed when they realized there was no hot water left. A tiny victory, but a victory nonetheless. Wrapping a towel around herself, Violet stepped out of the shower and walked to the mirror. She rubbed her hair with another towel, watching her reflection appear. Her wet hair plastered to her head made her look worn out and defeated. But as she looked closer, something fierce blazed in her golden eyes. They still burned bright, refusing to give up. She might be tired, humiliated, and angry, but she was far from broken. Still reeling from the day's events, Violet walked out of the bathroom and froze. 3 pairs of eyes immediately turned to her. Conversations dying mid-sentence. Crap. She'd forgotten they were there, and from the way they'd gone silent, they'd been talking about her. Swallowing her annoyance, Violet plastered on a neutral expression and walked to her bed. Ignoring their stares, she unwrapped her towel, briefly standing naked before quickly pulling on her tank top and shorts. Violet busied herself making her bed. She was just about to lie down when Alice sheepishly approached. Violet saw her out of the corner of her eye but pretended not to notice. "Violet?" Alice called out hesitantly. Violet ignored her. Once she finished, she lay down, draping an arm over her face, burying herself in the crook of her elbow. Even though she couldn't see Alice, Violet could feel her presence. The girl wasn't leaving. Fine, she can just stand there then. A few minutes later, Violet lifted her head and growled. "What the heck do you want?" To her shock, Alice held out a tray. "Hungry?" Violet was stunned. She'd expected Alice to grovel and beg for forgiveness. Something Violet could have ignored to make her suffer. Holding grudges was kind of her thing. But the aroma of food drifted over, and Violet realized she hadn't eaten since lunch, having been holed up in her room licking her wounds. "Don't think this changes anything," she told Alice, taking the tray. She didn't miss the small smile on Alice's face. Violet dug into the fried chicken like a savage. She'd had no appetite earlier, and now, having skipped dinner, she was starving. Plus, she needed her strength to escape Lunaris later. "How are you doing?" Hazel's voice startled her. Violet paused, glancing up at Hazel. There was no sarcasm or hostility in Hazel's blue eyes, just warmth. That was unexpected. "What do you think? How would you feel?" Violet snapped, her mouth full. "I'm sorry," Alice blurted out. I should have told you. I thought it would be fun. A surprise. Oh yeah, 100 guys flashing their junk is totally what I call a surprise. Violet sneered, her sarcasm returning. Alice opened her mouth to respond, but Lily Fairchild, the quiet, brainy girl, beat her to it. Werewolves don't have a problem with nudity. It's just how they are. If anyone has a problem, it's us humans who feel awkward. There was no challenge or insult in her voice. She simply stated a fact. But Violet wasn't in the mood for logic. Not when she felt like a butt of a cruel joke. And the peeing part? Violet shot back. Are werewolves so uncivilized they don't know what a toilet is? The insult hit a nerve. Hazel glared at her, clearly disapproving. Guess someone's still a kiss-up. But Violet didn't care. She was the victim here. This wasn't some quirky cultural difference she was going to brush off. And she'd thought Hazel Sterling would have learned better after her own run-in with those jerks. It's a marker, Lily replied. A what? Werewolves aren't that far removed from their animal instincts. Wolves mark their territory with scent. In your case, pee. So they, marked us all this way? Violet asked, suddenly feeling dumb if that was the case. Oh, no, you're the only one who got peed on. What? This time Alice spoke. For us, they just licked and sniffed our hands. It tickled. That's why I didn't tell you. I knew you'd hate it and try to ditch it. I couldn't let that happen. Violet frowned. So why'd he do that? Why'd he pee on me? Lily shrugged, lying back on her bed. Who knows? Maybe he's staking a claim on you?
See that button on screen? That's your full story. Tap it and download the Pocket FM app now for free.